Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Please forgive my stuffiness and that I'm recovering from an illness. For today's card project, I decided I wanted to try out my Rosemal reflections from the Greenery. And so I'm using the Capsule Basics, which I have used this die set before and I absolutely love. With the scalloped edges, you can do this one, which makes a bigger card, or this one that's smaller. So this would have to go on a 5x7. This one can go on an A2. And there are 6 dies in this set. And then I'm using the larger die set. And this is so fun because it does little impressions on the cardstock. And then this impresses as well, so you know where to put this. So the only thing this die does is do these little impressions. So it adds to the cardstock. And so this is what you make. And this is the large one. There also is a set with 2 smaller ones like this, but I love the large one. And then we're going to use the embossing folder for this. Let me take it out, see if you can see it better. It's a wonderful folder. It's not like anything I've ever had. And then the dies, you can, cut out just a big oval border and then emboss it, or you could do just the middle part. It's a wonderful die set that works with this embossing folder. And then I'll see if I use the stamps. It's a great fun thing to do. And you can, again, make a border with this, or you can stamp the floral cluster, which, if you'll notice, is a little smaller than the one I did out of the die cuts. But again, it's a very beautiful, beautiful set. So let's get started. So to get started, I used the largest oval die from the Greenery's Rosemal Reflections and cut out the oval. And then I used the embossing folder for Rosemal Reflections and embossed the panel. And this is with banana split cardstock from Cut Cardstock. And I'm using Catherine Pooler's Lime Ricky and a pouncer to get just a little bit of green around the edges of that layer. And now for the card, I'm using the largest oval, which is scalloped, and cutting up the cardstock, but I did not cut out the fold. And now I'm doing the decorative layer. So again, it's another scalloped layer, and then it comes with this embossing panel, which I love. At first I thought I wanted lavender, but then I decided to go with this blue, and this is Misty Blue from Cut Cardstock. And the card base was Amazon Dark Teal from Cut Cardstock. So embossed and cut that panel. I'll let you see what it looks like. So there's a little embossing in there, and there's some details on there. And now I'm going to ink blend over this die cut. This is the large botanical from Rosemal Reflections. There's either this one, or you could get the small. And so it can, the ovals hold 1 large or 2 smalls. So I decided to go with the large. I was using Lime Ricky. It wasn't dark enough. I wasn't getting the color green I wanted. So I came in with Grass Skirt from Catherine Pooler's ink, and that was perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. So doing just a little bit of ink blending around the stems of this floral die cut. And I don't know if you can see the little pattern on the left there, that almost woven pattern of the twigs. It's really pretty. So now I'm coming in, this is bubblegum cardstock from Cut Cardstock, and I'm coming in with Catherine Pooler's Pucker Up to add some shading, decorative shading. So there's the base layer, and now this layer goes on top of what we just shaded. And then there's a part that actually goes in. I'm just bringing in the more pink parts to get those shaded, because I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to use pink. I did end up actually adding yellow flowers, so it's not all pink. And you'll see that in a little bit. But I started with pink anyway. And I had to check and see how the flowers go to make sure I had it right. And I did not shade the right areas on the base layer of the tulip, so I had to redo that. So now I'm adhering. So you've got a base layer of tulips, and then you've got the decorative top layer. And the top layer has some embossing on it, so it's very pretty. And then that flower I did not build right. So not real happy with that. When I was rethinking it, I did go ahead and make that flower yellow with a pink middle. And I ended up liking that better. So trying to build those flowers. And now I'm trying to put a yellow middle on a pink one. No, I did a pink middle on a yellow one. So anyway, the main flower has an insert so that you can do something different for in the middle part or the inner part of the flower. So I decided to go with yellow, and that's what kind of got me on this whole yellow and pink kick. So I've got these yellow die cuts that I will be ink blending, and I'm doing the pink with Pucker Up still, and then the yellow I go over with a little bit of Tiara from Catherine Pooler. So just doing the slightest bit of ink blending on those. And then I will glue the middle parts of the flower to the outer petals. For as much detail as everything is on these, they are so easy to deal with. I really enjoyed it. Sorry, my glue got stuck. I had to unstick it. So those are the little flowers. And there is some embossed detail on those flowers as well. And then just adding a little detail to the yellow center of this flower. So now we're going to adhere everything to the foliage. So there's the big main flower. You know, these would be really fun to use colored pencils on and do your shading that way, or to use your alcohol markers as well. So I've got the little accent flowers, and now I'm going to do the yellow and pink flowers plus the pink tulips. But I just love that kind of woven pattern between the three flowers. I think it's brilliant. So now I'm going to fit that into the embossed area on that panel and glue this down. So I've got that glued down. Let that sit a minute. So now I've added on the embossed panel a bunch of strong tape. So I'm just peeling off the back. Because it's embossed, I wanted a really strong tape. I didn't want to use glue. I wanted a really strong tape. So peeling that off. And then I'll adhere that on our card base. And then I put some foam tape on the back of this panel, and I'll adhere that onto the card base as well. So you don't see any of the middle embossing from the embossing folder. And I could have cut that out, but I didn't want to. I should have though. I should have saved it. That's really a pretty panel. So you've just got that decorative border then. So we'll let that dry, and then we will come in with our gems from Pixie Dust Designs. Not Pixie Dust Designs, I'm sorry, that was a lie. Honeybee. So I'm using these pale pink, and the embossing has these little dots. So I'm putting gems on where all the little dots are, and then added a few more where I wanted them. For some reason that I was having difficulty with the adhesive on that one. And that completes our card. So here's the card we made together. And I'm not doing a sentiment on it because I'm not quite sure who I want to use it for. So I got it ready for sending out. So this would fit in an A7 envelope, 5x7, very easily. It's just very pretty and dainty. And it's not like anything else out there in the market, which I love. So the fun thing about this set, so this bigger one does this one, and I did not cut on the fold so that I have a fold on my card. And then I used the second largest oval, which is kind of hard to see, but it's right there, to cut out this panel, and then I embossed it using this folder, and then I just went over the edges lightly with a green. And then I used this die to cut out this panel, and I embossed the panel with this die. So you can see, like right here, the little embossing and around the florals. And it also, then this makes an impression so you know exactly where to put this floral. So there's some embossing there. And the gems are all on the little circles that are on this die set. There's some there, there's some there. So I put gems on those for decoration. But what I didn't use was the stamp set, this is just a gorgeous stamp set, but it wasn't fitting what I needed. I didn't want to color. You can tell I'm under the weather. I just wanted to do a nice, relaxing card. So here it is. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.